Mr. Medvedev, the fellow with the limp handshake, has been speaking at a conference in Moscow. Now, initially I thought this was an educational conference. In fact, I rather wondered whether or not I knew where he was speaking, but it seems he was speaking in some sort of space research group. And he says, it's worth repeating many of his words. He says the world is sick and probably on the edge of nuclear war, but he says it's not inevitable. And yet, he goes on, people are distracted in the West by climate change. It is nothing, he says, to being at the epicenter of a blast at a temperature of 5,000 Kelvin, a shock wave of 350 meters per second, a pressure of 3,000 kilograms per square meter, with penetrating radiation, meaning ionizing radiation, and an electromagnetic pulse. Is that the prospect of what we have today? Yes, it is. And it's growing every day for obvious reasons. That is what he said. Now, this is, of course, from the man who famously said that Ukraine should disappear because nobody needs it. This is from the man who said that The Hague should be targeted with a hypersonic weapon for doing the injustice, for daring to target President Putin with a warrant for arrest, and that the Japanese Prime Minister should ritually disembowel himself. And he put out a tweet today with a picture of Biden, which I suspect had been quite heavily photoshopped, suggesting that Biden should be offered a fake box should he succeed in the next presidential election, a fake box with a fake nuclear code on it, with fake buttons to avoid the, quote, daring geezer, end of quote, pressing a button by mistake to avoid, quote, fatal consequences. This is the man who is wheeled out to issue Putin's darker threats. Do we take him seriously? Yes, I think we probably should take him seriously. But he is nevertheless playing a sort of game, a sort of Laurel and Hardy game with President Putin, and a good cop, bad cop, I suppose. It's not attractive, and both of these individuals are weak. At heart, they are weak.